On This Morning, CBS This Morning, when the nation honors Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we have an emotional conversation with one of his protégés in the civil rights movement. Jan Crawford sat down with Congressman John Lewis, and she's in Washington at the MLK Memorial right now. Jan, good morning.
Well, good morning. So, Lewis is one of the last surviving leaders of the civil rights movement, and we talked about Dr. King's dream of a better America where children would grow up treated equally and what that means for children today. They walked through the shadows of history, taking their places where greatness once stood.
I have a dream.
Delivering a message with enduring power.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed.
I have a dream that my 4 little children
will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
For these Washington, D.C. students, like 10-year-old Leah Jeffers, King's work shaped their lives.
People will still have their signs up, and it'll keep on saying whites only and no blacks allowed, and us blacks and us whites will never come together.
What does it look like now?
Now everybody's friends with everybody. We love each other, and that's how it's supposed to be.
2 generations after the civil rights movement, through the teachings of Martin Luther King Jr., America is a nation changed.
I would say to these young people, I knew Martin Luther King Jr. He was my hero.
Congressman John Lewis, son of an Alabama sharecropper, became a leader of the movement, inspired by King.
He taught us that hate is too heavy a burden to bear. As young people, you must never, ever hate. You must never, ever become bitter or hostile. You must be hopeful. You must be optimistic. And never, never give up.
There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights, when will you be satisfied?
We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality.
But in the wake of the deaths of Michael Brown and Eric Garner at the hands of police, there's fear the dream for many seems far away.
We still have a distance to go before we lay down the scars and stains of racism in America. I truly believe that these young people growing up today in the 5th grade will grow up in a better society, a different society. We would get it right.
Lewis bears those scars. Nearly 50 years ago in Alabama on Bloody Sunday, he helped lead protesters across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. For Lewis, those memories cause pain.
I was wearing a backpack. In this backpack, I had 2 books. I thought we were going to be arrested and go to jail. I wanted to have something to read. Had 1 apple and 1 orange. Wanted to have something to eat.
Instead of arrest and jail, he and others were brutally beaten, his skull fractured.
I thought I saw death. I thought I was going to die. My legs went from under me, and I fell. I just thought, this is it. And I said to myself, I'm going to down this bridge.
The images shocked America. King issued a call for religious leaders to come to Selma. 2 weeks later, with federal protection, he, Lewis, and other leaders with thousands of people from all over America crossed that bridge and marched on to Montgomery, a peaceful protest for the right to vote.
Black and white together.
Later that year, Congress passed the Voting Rights Act.
The legacy of Dr. King. I mean, how do you even put that into words?
Martin Luther King Jr. helped free and liberate not just a people, but a nation.
Black and white.
Black and white. And he taught us all so much through his action, his words. He taught us how to live, and he taught us how to die. That if you believe in something that is so precious and so necessary, you have to stand up for it. You have to speak up and speak out.
Let freedom ring.
To continue working for that day,
When all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Now, Lewis said that, of course, it's so important to celebrate King and what he did for this nation, but it's also important to remember all those nameless people who stepped in, got involved, worked for change. He said that is an important part of King's message, that anyone in their own way can make a difference. Vanita?
Such an important reminder. Jan, thank you.
True. John Lewis at the time was 24 years old, and I marvel at the age of all of those people who risked their lives thinking that they were going to die.
John Lewis has such dignity.
He really does.
Words are so powerful, even after all this time.
And he says we will get it right. I believe that too. We will get it right.